Hey, and welcome to Bush Kids. Another day out in the garden and another day bushcrafting. And today we're just going to do a quick tripod setup. Actually, we're going to use some wood that we've got previously, some branches that we've had recently from actually a hazel coppice that we did, and we're going to lash those together and make a tripod. And then we'll look at how we can fashion a pot hanger to go off the tripod. So this is what you need. So it's just some bits and pieces, just a knife, a saw, and some paracord. Obviously, we're going to bind them together, lash together. And of course, what else we need is some sticks. So we're going to find some sticks that are roughly the same diameter and the same length, and I'm going to make mine at about 3 foot high or so. So let's see what we can do. Okay, so these are our 3 sticks, and what we're going to do is just going to cut them to be the same length to start off with. Okay, so we're just going to mark where they are. Just move these out of the way. Just go ahead and cut these off, moving our hands out of the way, or the other side if we can. Just balancing up. One. And then the second. Okay, so we're there and thereabouts on the length and the diameter. So we're going to start to work on getting the lashing sorted. Okay, so we're going to do a clove hitch to start off with. So what I'm going to do with the clove hitch is I'm just going to make two loops. One loop, another loop. See that? So I've got 2 loops. And what I'm doing now, see how one is round the back and one is at the front. I'm just going to take that over the back of that. Now I've got a loop for that. I'm just going to put it over one of my sticks. You can see now, just pulling that together, that gives us a clove hitch to start off with. Okay, so we're going to start our lashing. So we're going to start from this clove hitch. I'm just going to come round the back and then over the top of this one, round the back of that one, and then over the top of that one. So that's the first lashing that's across. I'm just going to make sure that that's tight. If I can. I'm going to come back over the top, in through there, round the back, and again, just making sure I'm tight, and that's the first lashing, back lashing, and then I'm going to come back through this way, again, trying to keep it as tight as I can, over the top, round the back, and back over again, do it again, back up, and over. I'm going to do it one more time, or a couple more times actually. Back over, around. I'm just trying to keep it as tight as I can. Maybe one more time. Back round. Over. Round. Now I've got 3 or 4 lashings that way. What I'm also going to do now is going to take this, I'm going to lash over. Pull that together like that, back over the top, and again round that way, so I've got 2 lashings now across those 3 at least, and in fact what I'm going to do is going to do a second one that way, back round, over the top. So So now I've got those that way and two that side, and then I'm just going to come over the top here and do another clove hitch. So clove hitch, wrap it around once, wrap it over the top, so we've got a cross, and then with this last one I'm just going to put it in the middle. Can you see here? Put it in the middle, just lift it up and bring it through, make sure it remains in the middle, pulling it tight. So we now have our lashings. Clove hitch to start off with, round the back, up and over, round the back, up and over, doing that 3 or 4 times, and then when we've done that, lash the other way to keep those tight, round the back again, round the back, and bring it back, and then we've got a clove hitch right at the end. So now we've got our tripod to stand up. Okay, so for the pot hanger we're going to use a slightly thicker piece of hazel here, so that it's got enough room for the pot to go over it. This is our little pot that we're going to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off probably about 10 inches off this, so that we can work it through. Okay, so we've got our 8 to 10 inches here. And what we're going to do first is we're going to make a couple of cuts at the bottom of this first, down through halfway through the pot holder if we can. So let's do that. And get our fingers out of the way. So we've done our first cut and we're about halfway through. And what we're going to do now is we're going to cut back into that as a stop cut, just using our knife really carefully with a reinforced grip, just away from our body, just taking those little bits back into that stop cut. You can see, just making that stop cut there, taking our time. Okay, we're doing a little bit more, just all the way up to the cup. Fair enough, thereabouts. So in order to keep the pot up and not have it too flat, what we're going to try and do is just take the knife and take a little bit of the edges off now, so it's not quite as flat with the cut. So just going to try and get a little bit of this in here and then turn it over and do the same on this side. So again, away from the body, just little bits. And we can cut back. You can see, just cutting back across here. Do it the other side now. Again, you can see the same that side. Now that should give us the ability just to take some off the middle now. And now you can see, just got a bit of a dip there to hold the pot. Okay, so we've got the pot in now. And you can see that's a lot more stable on there, just holding it in because of those little gaps in the back. Okay, so the next cut we're going to do is going to be at the top of this branch, the stick. What we're going to do is what's called a crow's beak. So what we need to do there is we need to get our knife on one diagonal. If you've got a mallet or a piece of wood, you just need to be going about a third of the way. So we have one across there like that, and then we're going to do the other one across the other side. So the idea here is to leave this beak at the top. Bearing in mind that, look where that is, we've got the top at the bottom and then the beak at the top here. Leave that and remove these bits here. So we're just going to do the same as what we did before. A good grip, reinforced grip. I'm just going to start to remove some of this around. And just very carefully go back to this stop cut and start to take the wood off. So you can see I'm leaving this beak space here. And if we get any that's still there, then just move the knife to. So again, always cutting away from the body and being in control. Keeping our digits out of the way. See what I'm being left with here now is this beak. Okay. Just going to go a little bit deeper. Again, just use the knife, just rocking the knife to try and get the rest out if we can't have it. Going a little bit deeper now. So we're now getting a beak, but we're also getting a beak that side. So when we get a little bit deeper, what I'm also going to do is take away some of the inside of here now, just so I've got a lip on it. So I'm just going to go a little bit deeper. I'm going to use the knife again and batten this out. Try and go a little bit deeper underneath here. Okay, so now you can see we've got the beak, but what it's done, we've got a beak area there and a little bit of a lip there. So I'm just going to fashion that and get that a little bit more deeper, and then we'll add some string to that. Okay, can you see that's a lot deeper now? Just the lip on that beak. And now we can start to use that to hook on a piece of string. Of course, rather than cutting out a notch here, if we're able to find a branch with one coming off like that, it just makes it really easy. But obviously I haven't got one of those at the moment, and I didn't feel that I wanted to go and cut another branch off a tree to make the pot holder. So If you can get one, you're lucky enough to get one with a branch coming off, then obviously fashion your cuts with that in mind, so you can get the hook there. So I've got a piece of paracord. It's probably about as long as my arm, and what I'm going to do is either side of this I'm just going to do a bowline or a bow line. So with a bow line I'm just going to make a loop, and the loop, you'll see the loop goes off to the top, over the top, and I'm going to take this rabbit's going to come out of this hole round the back of this other tree and back down the hole. So you'll see there, just pulling that together now, that gives us a loop or a bowline. So I've got one loop one side. I'm going to do exactly the same the other side. So loose end in one hand, a loop with the one on top, rabbit comes up the hole, round the back of the tree and back down the hole, and we pull together for a bowline. Okay, so we've got two things now to line up. Okay, so I've got my two loops either end. All I'm going to do is just take one in the middle actually, and make a loop there, and then just tie that off and pull the loop through. So make that tight. So now I've got one loop either side and one loop in the middle. Okay, so because we've got the tripod there, I've just put one loop over the top, and then the other loop is just on that beak as you saw earlier, and the pot is on the bottom. But of course, if we wanted to, because I've got this loop here, I could pull that loop up and have that loop over the top. And of course that lifts everything up if we need to. Of course I can put other notches here if I want to, a couple of notches there just to hold it up. But there you go, a pot hanger and tripod. So there you go, another challenge. To make a tripod out of wood, branches, hazel in this case. Obviously get permission if you can coppice hazel, with some lashing at the top, and then we've made a pot holder out of, again, a small piece of hazel with some cuts there and some additional paracord to hold it above the fire. So lots of different things you can do with a pot holder, lots of different things you can do with a tripod, but just a simple challenge for you to look at. So give it a go and let us know how you get on with some pictures on Instagram at @BushKiddz or #BushKiddz, and we'll see you soon. Stay safe.